Okay guys, hello. Welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel deck profile video. It's Do This Jude, and for today's video, we're gonna talk about one of my favorite decks of the current format, and arguably, I think one of my favorite decks all time, maybe. Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi. So, as you have all heard, Wandering Travelers, the new Master Duel pack, is now out, and it features the Brave token engine. So that's Rite of Aramis here, Wandering Griffin Rider, Water Enchantress, and along with that, you also get Evil Twins, Trouble Sunny, and the entire Floowandereeze archetype. So it's a really meta warping pack, and right now you really have to adjust your deck to the current meta because there's just so many decks that just got a huge buff because of the Brave Engine, and Floowandereeze is just a pain to deal with if you don't have the right interruptions for it. So, on to Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi. So, this is based on the OCG and TCG deck lists that have been dominating, that were dominating earlier 2022 in terms of like tournament tops, and it's really good. It was a tier 1 deck in OCG and TCG. Um, whichever variation it took, because the OCG and TCG versions are different from each other. So that's one thing worth looking. And Master Duel kind of follows the OCG deck list, which is really powerful because it has access to a ton of cards. Well, not really a ton. A couple of cards that are banned in TCG but are very legal in OCG, or at least limited. So, this is like an upgrade to my previous Rose Dragon Tenyi video. So if you want to take a look at that one, you can check out the extra cards, the initial build I had for that one. If you're interested to try out Rose Tenyi without the Brave Engine, it still works in this current format because it's just very consistent and very good. So let's get started with the cards I have. So first off, I made sure that I have a lot of tuners here. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 15 tuners. So out of 45, one third of my deck is tuners. I think this is a good ratio. You could go with 16 or 17, but if you're looking for like consistency and have like your starters as much as possible, having at least 12 tuners is a must in this deck. So my tuners include Chiwan, Light of the Yangzing, Jato, Darkness of the Yangzing. So these are my main deck Yangzings. You can special summon them off Denglong's effect. So most of the time I use Jatu because uh, this card has 2k defense, so it can prevent itself from getting destroyed by battle, unlike Chi1, which is 0. Some opponents decide to go battle phase and remove one of my negates when I have Yangzing, and when I have 9 pillars of the Yangzing and a Yangzing monster. So when they see Chi1, they see an opportunity to just remove one of my negates. So I put Jatu here, or Jiaotu, might have mispronounced it all this time, for the 2k defense. So that's pretty much it. Also, apart from 2k defense, it's a level 2 tuner. If I have a level 7, I can go into Chao Feng and lock my opponent out of Dark. So really handy. Next up, Deskbot. This is one of the Hulky Fibrax summons. So it's either Deskbot or Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron is a bit different because it allows you to go into a one card Hulky Fibrax combo. So just Jet Synchron, Almirage, Revive Jet Synchron, use Almirage and Jet Synchron to create Crystron Hulky Fibrax. Very handy combo if your hand is bad. Two Adhara. So I used to run three, but for deck size, I just cut two. This was actually by accident. I was supposed to have like three Adhara and two Maxi, but the ratio switched and it's working. So Adhara is another extender that prevents you from using your normal summon as much as possible because it's much better to save your normal summon for like something important just in case you get Ash, Imperm, Veilered, or even Ogred. So very handy right there. Next up, 3 Maxi for the hand traps. So standard, this has saved me a couple of duels by drawing as many cards as possible after my opponent decided to play through a Maxi, which is something that you should never do. Next up, 2 Mecha Phantom Beast Lion. I have 2 because I don't want to risk drawing one, my only one copy, so I just made sure I had 2 so I can make sure Mecha Phantom Beast Aurora Dawn's effect resolves. And Jiaotu here, and 3 Ash Blossom. Standard hand trap just kills a lot of search cards and very, very handy. Also allows you to stop Foolish Burial if they want to throw Water Enchantress to the graveyard. Next up, we have 3 Red Rose Dragon. This is your best normal summon in the game or in the deck. This allows you to go into an instant Baronne de Fleur or even Cheng Ying using this and any of the level 7 Tenyis or Wandering Griffin Rider. Really handy. Roxrose works as an extender, so you summon Roxrose off the effect of Red Rose when it's used as synchro material. And Roxrose gives you Basil Rose Shoot, which is a monster reborn for the Red Rose. And you bring the Red Rose back, and you use the 2 cards to create Hulky Febrax, and just go ham with your combo. Water Enchantress, her purpose is to banish herself to get Rite of Aramesir, and Rite of Aramesir gets you Adventure Token, and Adventure Token gets you Fateful Adventure, and if you summon something, you trigger the effect of Fateful Adventure to add Draco back, and Draco back is a way to bounce cards on your opponent's field back to their hand. Really cool effect. Next up, 1 Token Collector. This isn't a tuner, but this is my tech option for a crossout target. And I could also use this from hand or graveyard, just in case my opponent is a mirror match or has tokens for synchro like Sword Soul. So I could just use Token Collector to just kill their token play and prevent them from extending. Next up, we have Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha and Ashuna. They basically serve the same purpose. Special summon level 7, so I can put Red Rose Dragon as my normal and go into instant level 10 synchro. Vishuddha is great because, you can bounce a card when you banish this and you have a non-effect monster, which is usually Monk of the Tenyi. Tenyi Spirit Ashuna allows me to summon a worm from deck. Really handy, but it locks you to worms, so just be careful with that. Wandering Griffin Rider is the Omni Negate plus bonus body for level 7. Really handy. So really, really fun. Next up, we have Nibiru the Primal Being, which is crossout target / I can also use this when I draw this kind of card. So just kills a lot of plays, especially if the opponent has no negate and they're still in the middle of like building their board. 1 Harpies for back row removal. I could have run Harpies and a Lightning Storm like I used to in my old Rose Tenyi builds, but no space for that. So at least the Duster comes in handy just in case there's pesky back row that I need to deal with. Monster Reborn, this is a free extender. So this allows you to get anything on my graveyard, almost anything. Sometimes I can get Denglong, a level 7, a Red Rose, anything to extend my play to create a synchro or a link play. So really handy. Foolish Burial is used for Water Enchantress, so I can get Rite of Aramesir. So very handy. Rite of Aramesir, as I said, summons the Adventure Token. So that just sets up. Draco back equips to the Adventure Token to bounce a card. Fateful Adventure is very handy to protect your token and allows you to get Griffin Rider or Water Enchantress, whichever you need. Usually it's Griffin Rider. Two Called by the Grave for anti-hand trap, plus like banish a monster, negate their effects for your opponent. So really, really powerful card. Cross out, I can say this is your generic negate. This prevents hand traps. This can negate cards in mirror matches. So you can negate a Tenyi. You can banish a Tenyi to negate their Tenyi. Really handy. Negate Imperm, negate Nibiru, Token Collector. Just very, very powerful. Two Called by, three Cross out. Very important here because if you're going first and you're setting up your board, you need as much protection from hand traps and negates as much as possible. So really handy. Basil Rose Shoot, as I said, Monster Reborn for the red roses. Two infinite permanents. You can cut this to like one maybe. So for a crossout target, but Imperm just comes in handy as a standard negate, especially if you're like going second. This is a very handy hand trap that doesn't get called by because it's not a monster. 9 pillars, you get this off the Denglong Search. It's a very powerful Omni negate. This can out Dark Ruger no more and Forbidden Droplet, given that they don't discard a trap card. Usually they don't, so that's handy. So on to the extra deck. Herald of the Arclight is your generic level 4 negate. Plus, it has a little floodgate. They mentioned fissure-like effect, where any monster sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. So this prevents opponents from using Droplet on you. So they have to destroy this if they want to use Droplet. But then again, as I said, you have 9 pillars to protect you. Denglong is your combo extender, level 5 tuner by default, but you can adjust the levels to like 7 by sending any worm from your graveyard. So you can go level 7 to make a level 10 play. I use this to go into Borreload Savage usually. And when this leaves the field, you can summon any of the main deck Yangzings, namely Chiwen and Jiaotu. Very handy. Yazi is here to be popped by Baron, and being popped allows you to summon any of the worms for extension plays. So that's one way to use it. Bakse is great going second. When you summon this, you can you can spin cards, I mean, at most 2, depending on how many worms you used for its synchro summon. So you can just spin 2 cards on your opponent's field, and that dodges a lot of graveyard effects. So they just go back to deck, and your opponent can't really do much. Except for be annoyed, maybe. Borreload Savage Dragon, my favorite card in this deck. If you use Aurora Dawn on this, you have 3 negates that you can use. And it's a 4,000 beat stick usually, or 3,750 if you use Hulky Fibrax. It's really hard to out. It's a very powerful card. You have to get over this by bat. You can remove this, but then again, it has a negate. So very handy, very powerful card. This can win games on its own sometimes. Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. So Draco Berserker is an alternate plan B for my level 8 synchro. So this is a beat stick synchro in a way. So I can banish a monster when it activates its effect. So really fun. And if I destroy an effect monster and send it to the graveyard, it gains attack equal to that destroyed monster, and it can make a second attack. So just generic beat stick things. I could replace this with something else, but I choose not to. So that's one. And my level 9 is Chaofeng. So Chaofeng allows me to lock my opponents from activating effects of certain attributes. So if I use Jiaotu, I can lock them from using dark effects, which is really good because a ton of monsters are dark monsters. So it's very handy. So next up, we have Baron de Fleur. So the best level 10 here because it's an Omni Negate and can pop a card. And you can also tag her out. If you use her negate, you can bring back Denglong, any of the Yangzings, or even Griffin Rider for the negate. You can tag her out, and you can reset. You can resummon her again. Really handy. Chen Ying is my favorite beat stick here, apart from Borreload Savage. Chen can banish cards on your opponent's field just as long as you trigger a banish. You can trigger it using your own crossout, or if your opponent relies on banishing anything, you can just banish 2 more cards from their end. So really handy. And for every banished card gains attack, and your opponent loses attack. So really, really good. And it has destruction immunity just as long as you keep banishing cards. Almirage, we said the purpose of this. It's for the Jet Synchron 1 card Hulky Fibrax play. Very good, very good. Or you can also use it for Red Rose Dragon if you draw Basil, you can do the same thing. 2 Monk of the Tenyi for the Tenyi spirits just to convert them. So I can use Vishuda's effect or maybe even Ashuna's effect. Striker Dragon is kind of like Almirage but for the Red Rose and Rox Rose dragons. So same purpose. Hulky Fibrax is your combo starter. If this deck revolves around Hulky Fibrax resolving as much as possible. You have to get this to resolve. Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, the reason you want Hulky Fibrax to resolve is to get this out, get a ton of tokens on field, get your synchros ready, get your synchro board ready. You can go Herald, you can go, Herald, Savage, Jiaotu with 9 pillars at the very least, but you can also go with Baron on that board, or even Chao Feng if you extend with the Brave token engine. Really, really cool. Now, that's it for the main deck I have here. That's it. This is for my standard Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi. Now, apart from these cards, you can also play a couple of other options. So, here's a good number of options that you can use on this deck. So, 1 Effect Veiler, you can use Effect Veiler at least 1 as a crossout target or generic negate. It's also a tuner, so you can use this for Hulky Fibrax plays. Ghost Ogre, it's good to run 3 of these plus 2 emergency teleport if you wanna have more special summons and more tuners on your field and in your deck. So really cool. Fairy Tail Snow, you can mill this off like Denglong, and you can bring this back from the graveyard and it it targets 1 monster and changes it to defense, face down defense position. Really handy, really resilient card. You can keep bringing this out just as long as you have 7 cards to banish. Shatana is for your Denglong place. You send this to the graveyard. And it's much better to have this when you have the Sword Soul card. So 1 Taya, 1 Long Yuan is the best ratio here. So Taya allows you to go into level 8 synchro play, which is usually Qishao. So Qishao allows you to go into get Emergence or Blackout. Emergence if you're using Protoss. Blackout if you want removal or negates. Long Yuan allows you to go into level 10. So it's Baron or Cheng Ying. Really handy. And when you send this to graveyard, the synchro material deals 1200 burn damage. Mare is an alternative that you can use. This is mostly for the base version of this deck. So Mare is a worm tuner that you can use. And it can summon a token. It can be instant synchro material as well. Ascendant of the Thunder, you can run like 2 of these. And you can go into Galaxy Tomahawk with this. A Tenyi or Griffin Rider plus special summon of Ascended allows you to go into Galaxy Tomahawk. And you have more tokens to play with for your Synchro plays and Auroradon plays. You can go double Auroradon as well on this build if you have it. So really handy. Arch Nemesis Protoss. Really good card. Really, really handy. It can negate 1 attribute. If you have this and Chao Feng, you can negate 2 to 3 depending on how many Yangzings you used for Chao Feng. Usually you only use 1, so you can negate at most 2 effects, which is already devastating itself. You can negate like Light and Dark, and that just stops a lot of decks. Emergence is used to search a Sword Soul or a Worm Monster. Depends on what game state you're on. Italy, as I said, is for the Ghost Ogre. Blackout is for the removal. So, extra deck, Shooting Razor Dragon is really handy. So this is another card that kind of works like Denglong. You can send one monster to convert its level. It takes the monster's level that you send. So Geomatmic Final Sigma is spicy tech. So example, one situation that one person I saw in a Master Duel server uh, uses on is when you get hit by a Nibiru and you have like a Jet Synchron in your graveyard. You can revive Jet Synchron, use the Nibiru token. That's 1 plus 11. You can go into Geomatmic Final Sigma, put this in the extra zone, and you have a card that's immune to effects and is a 3k beater that deals double damage when it attacks. So really handy. Galaxy Tomahawk is another crazy extender. If you have this because of the legacy pack pulls, please keep this and put this in your Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi deck as soon as possible. Really good. Barricade Board Blocker. This is another way to extend into Aurora Dawn. So another one. I forgot to add these two cards. So one is Nemesis Corridor and one is Cupid Pitch. So Nemesis Corridor allows you to go return one banished monster, special summon this, and your special summon target is Thunder Dragon Colossus, because this is a thunder monster and its effect activated from hand. You can tribute Corridor to bring out Thunder Dragon Colossus, which is a walking droll and lockbird. And if someone tries to destroy this once by battle or by card effect, you can just protect it using Corridor. You can even use Ascendant of the Thunder to protect it. Cupid Pitch is the searcher for Nemesis Corridor. Just as long as you use this for Synchro Material. This is another tuner that changes levels, so you can just be very flexible with this as a combo piece. And I guess that's it for the Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi deck right now. And it's a really, really powerful deck. And I can say it's arguably the best deck of this format, especially with Braves dominating the space of Master Duel right now. And this is gonna be a really, really good deck for a while. Until maybe we get a ban list or more cards arrive. Maybe when new Punk cards, the new Therion cards arrive in Master Duel, this can change. But until then, Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi is one of the best decks in Master Duel right now. And I'm just happy to be able to share with you this deck profile. If you have suggestions, if you have questions about this build, please do send them in the comment section. That would be really cool. And I'll be very happy to answer them. And if you like this video, you can like the video, share it with your friends, and that would really help the channel grow. You can also subscribe to my channel since it helps the channel grow even more. And I'll be continuing to make Master Duel content for the foreseeable future. And once again, thank you for those who are watching and commenting. This is my Adventure Rose Dragon Tenyi video. So this is my deck profile, and this is a really, really good deck. I can't stop not saying that. It's a really, really fun deck to play, really consistent. It's my favorite deck right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And that's it for the video, and I'll see you in the next one. So goodbye, guys.